Welcome to Bedcrime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. If you like all things true crime, if you like it delivered in a peaceful, tranquil manner, if you like it clear and concise without drama, then I highly recommend you subscribe. And if you like what you hear, please smash the like button. It's a free way you can help. And now, without further ado, let's dig in. Happy Friday, people. Welcome to the weekend. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Statement analysts have a list of 7 things to look for in the language and behavior of parents of missing children. Note that statistics indicate that most of the time when a child goes missing, a family member is responsible. Statement analysts and behavior experts look for these 7 things as red flags when they are analyzing what a parent or parents are saying in the wake of a child going missing. So number 1 is something that we all know, and that is that the parents use the past tense when talking about their missing child. For example, the parent might say something like, Jane loved riding her bike, as opposed to Jane loves riding her bike. Parents who still have hope that their child will turn up tend to cling to the present tense. The second thing to look for are parents who push a narrative and who are not very cooperative. That would be a red flag. So if you have parents who are cooperative and who don't push a specific narrative, that's a good thing. So here's an example of a parent pushing a narrative. Candace and Don Wells from the Summer Wells case. Candace kept saying, somebody came up this hill and they took my baby. And even when Chris McDonough of the interview room said that that would be highly unlikely, Candace was like, why? Kids go missing all the time. This is why so many people suspect that Don and Candace know what happened to Summer. The third thing is when a parent or parents are conclusive about what happened to their child. In the case of Sebastian Rogers, stepfather Chris and mother Katie Proudfoot have made it clear that they know for a fact that Sebastian walked out of the front door. And not only that, that he walked out of the front door barefoot. How are they so sure about that? Only can they be sure about that if they know it for a fact. Red flag. The fourth thing to look for is if a child goes missing and the parents are not involved, as in they don't go on TV right away or social media to share their children's face and name. Parents who are looking for their children legitimately will automatically speak about their child to anyone and everyone, and they will plead for the child's safe return. If the parents don't do this, it is sadly a red flag. And this would also include parents who aren't out searching for their child nonstop. The fifth thing is this. Parents who aren't involved in their child's disappearance will speak directly to their child on television, on social media. They will address their child as in, Sebastian, if you're out there and you can hear me, know that we love you. Know that we will never stop looking for you. The sixth thing to look for is a parent who goes on TV and asks for help. This is the point, after all, of doing interviews. If parents fail to ask for help, if they fail to ask the public, please, please look for my child. This is what he looks like. This is where he went missing. If the parents are not using their opportunities for interviews to ask for help for their missing child, this is a huge red flag. Parents of missing children don't have time to shoot the shh, if you know what I mean, on YouTube. They are busy strategizing, putting out flyers, talking to people about their child, about where he went missing, about what he was wearing. They're out looking. They're not wasting their time talking about cake pops. Number 7, parents who aren't involved in their child's disappearance, meaning they're not responsible for it, will make a call to action, as in, they will say something like, if you've seen my child, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. We've seen a lot of this from Seth Rogers, at least in the beginning. He was also at Sebastian's vigil last weekend. He spoke emotionally about his child. He made it clear what he wants, and that is to find Sebastian. The other side, the Proudfoots, really have done very little of this. However, Katie and Chris were on another channel yesterday, I believe, and I want to share some bits of the conversation. Now, I am grabbing this audio from Dolly Vision. He didn't say what channel it came from, so I wasn't sure where to go and find the original. So just know that it's going to be a little bit choppy. I'm going to try to cut out what Dolly was saying so that I can insert my own thoughts.
Different every time we buy a box.
Okay, this is Katie speaking right now.
Anything with sugar.
Well, he was on Lucky Charms pretty hard for a while.
No, he was on Reese's Pieces.
Well, that was the
Oh,
next thing. I
yes.
was gonna say, and then he went on Reese's Pieces for a while. He was on that s'mores cereal for a little while. He went on a kick for that.
So clearly they were talking about cereal and things that Sebastian liked to eat for breakfast. In my opinion, this is a very safe topic for the Proudfoots to feel comfortable talking about. Notice how they did use the past tense. They were saying he was on a kick for Lucky Charms for a while. They're not saying here he loves sugar. He loves sugary cereal like Reese's Pieces. We always buy that for him, and that's what he likes to eat.
It's actually kind of really good.
Occasionally he'll eat frosted mini wheats, so that's kind of cool.
Or even Raisin
Yeah.
Bran, but he got off Raisin Bran. I don't know what happened. Like one day he just decided he didn't like raisins anymore.
Well, raisins can be deceptive. Have you ever thought you were getting a chocolate chip cookie and it turns out to be an oatmeal raisin? Ugh,
No,
deceptive.
Yep.
Yep, there you go. We're heartbreaking in that right there.
Yes, isn't it though? Isn't it? Like
I don't know. If it
disappointment.
I don't know if it's ooey and gooey, and then you got a bowl of ice cream to put with it. I don't know. I can get down. I can get behind that.
I don't
Okay.
know. His favorite drink ever is just milk. But
Milk?
he loves the Martinelli's apple juice, specifically the Martinelli's in the glass bottle, not the plastic ones, Mom.
He wants a grenade. He's got to have a grenade.
That glass grenade, yes, it's the
Yep.
glass shaped
He
of
don't
the
want
apple,
the plastic
yes.
ones. Don't buy him the plastic ones. He has to have it in glass.
So a couple things, in all fairness, they have switched to the present tense on some of these, so it's no longer past tense. That's good. Katie says he has to have glass. He can't have plastic. It does sound like she's irritated with him, that Sebastian was very particular, perhaps because of his autism. It has to be a certain way. It has to be the glass one, not the plastic one. What's strange to me is that she's not getting emotional. She's not crying. She's not having anything well up in her because she misses him. He's been gone for 3 months now. It's just very lighthearted. When a parent has a missing child and they're reminiscing about their missing child, they tend to get teary, especially if it's just 3 months out.
Because he's bougie like that.
Bougie. Okay.
We went to, when we were, I think it was Costco, when we were in there, and I was like, oh, Bubba, they got your apple juice. And he said, well, hold on. And he went over and tapped on it. He said, that's not the right one, Mom. I don't even want that. Okay.
It tastes different in the glass bottle than it does the plastic bottle. I get it.
Well, it's just like a Coke. I don't care who you are. You got Coke in a can and a bottle and a glass bottle and a fountain drink. And by far, the ones in the glass bottles and then the fountain drinks and then a canned Coke, and then you got plastic bottles.
Oh no!
But if it's a canned Coke in a cooler full of ice, a canned Coke on ice, that is almost as good as a glass bottle of Coke.
I don't know. Well, actually, do you prefer the American or the Mexican?
Let me ask you, if your child was missing, would you want to spend all this time talking about drinks that he likes, or whether you like Coke in a bottle or a can? Does this seem like a productive conversation when you're trying to spread the word that your child is missing and people need to be on the lookout for him or her? And I have to say, the hosts of this show, perhaps they were only able to get Katie and Chris to talk if they talked about ridiculous things like Coke. But if you're interviewing someone or chatting with someone in a case like this, aren't you going to try to squeeze in a good question or two? They never do that. It's all about silly stuff like drinks and cake pops. Were they all hungry? Do they all love sweets? Is that why they're focusing on all this stuff?
I actually like Mexican Coca-Cola much better than I like American Coca-Cola
because they use real candy instead
it's
of
sugar.
that, corn syrup.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Wyoming, they make and we have it. We have it all with real sugar here too.
Sebastian won't touch anything carbonated. Nothing. He hates carbonated.
Interesting.
I think it's a sensory issue thing for him.
Now, I will admit that I do find it interesting to hear that Sebastian won't touch anything that's carbonated. I do think that is a thing for some people who are on the spectrum. They do have sensory issues. I just wish that the people on the panel would bring the conversation back to Sebastian and only Sebastian. I don't care if the lady on the panel likes her Coke from Mexico or the U.S. I'm not interested how she feels about her carbonated beverages. And it is very telling that Katie and Chris do not steer the conversation toward Sebastian. They aren't trying to get a message to him, as in, Sebastian, if you can hear me. They aren't pleading with the public to say it's 3 months, but we're not giving up. Please keep looking for him. We're not hearing any urgency in their voices. And we're certainly not hearing any emotion.
Yep, the bubbles.
He can't stand anything even lightly carbonated. He can't stand it.
That's interesting.
Because he's got sensory issues, but each kid, person, everything is, unique to them. And for him, carbonation is a hard no. Never drank a soda a day in his life. He's had a sip and hated every single time.
Funny, he didn't like that, but he likes his sugar in a different format, not in a liquid format then.
Yeah, unless it's like chocolate milk.
Right. Yeah. So it's got to be the carbonation bubbles then.
Yeah, carbonation specifically. Because, I do the flavored waters. And he was really into it with me. So every day we'd go and we'd make our little water talks and we'd do different recipes. We got a whole water bar set up and he'd help me pick out flavors. And
it's actually astonishing that they can talk about carbonated beverages for such a long time. It's like, can we address the elephant in the room? Your son is missing. Let's talk about that.
He would make his own waters. But I use sparkling water sometimes, and he would, every once in a while, he would grab my drink and drink it because he was being funny, and he's like, "Oh, I drink your water." Well, every once in a while, he'd grab it, and it would have carbonated water in it, and he'd take one sip and be like, I'd be like, "That's why you don't drink people's drinks without asking, dude."
Am I the only one who thinks that this conversation is ludicrous, knowing that Sebastian's missing and you now have a platform on which you may speak about that, and you're wasting it on carbonated beverages? Red flag, red flag, red flag. So this conversation took place last night. And are you getting the feeling once again that Katie prefers to tell negative things about Sebastian instead of positive things about him? And note that we've got the past tense throughout this whole section of the conversation.
I'm trying to roll through and see. Chat was asking some pretty good questions.
Has he ever eaten? Did he like Pop Rocks?
No, he does not like Pop Rocks.
The feeling of that, you know? I mean,
He's weird. Like, when he first got glasses, it was really difficult to transition and to get like accustomed to that. He's been in them for years and years now, so he's used to it. But like hats, he likes hats, but he can't stand wearing them.
Okay.
So he tries, but he only manages to wear them for like a few minutes, and then he's like, yeah, I'm done. Get it off me.
Would he prefer like...
I find it weird that she's laughing. We're only 3 months out. If they're telling the truth, then she doesn't know where he is or if he's even alive. To me, her emotions do not match the situation, the nightmare that she is supposedly living right now.
jeans? Or shorts over pants?
He likes shorts over pants, but once he gets transitioned into pants, so like in the fall, once the weather turns and it's, no longer acceptable short weather, once he gets used to wearing pants, it's not a problem. He wears them every day without a question. But it's the transition, so like when the weather starts getting warm, when he can start wearing shorts again, and then that's all he wants to wear.
Instead of asking about pants versus shorts, maybe a better question would have been, did Sebastian often go outside without his shoes on in your experience? Do you agree with your ex-husband Seth that Sebastian was afraid to walk barefoot after getting bit by fire ants?
If that makes sense.
Just another troll said, I'm the same with makeup. I love collecting it, but I hate wearing it.
Was that a Newport? I think I just heard a Newport chime in. Okay, it sounded like a pack of cigarettes. This was like...
So for him, it's.
This is what years of smoke and abuse will do to you guys. Just put the cigarettes down, put them down.
But you know what? I got the same thing with money. I love collecting it, but I hate spending it.
I agree. Agreed, right?
Now, for him, I don't necessarily think he had like a significant preference of pants over shorts so much as it was whatever he's accustomed to wearing.
Right.
So, like, once he transitions into pants, he gets used to just throwing.
Quitter?
And he doesn't try to wear shorts. Vice versa. Like, even at night, like, so it goes fluid. So, like, he'll wear.
I left that part with Dolly in there because it was kind of funny, I have to admit.
We try to keep him on a regular routine so that he functions better. If you have sporadic bedtimes and everything, then he starts having more, difficulty with being on track and on task and everything, or he'll, he doesn't really sleep very well.
Right.
So his sleep routine has never been specific, but it's, it's downtime, it's quiet time, it's, you remove the stimulus, screen time shuts off at the same time every day so that you.
So she said that Sebastian functions better when he's on a routine. And I know a lot of people have wondered if on the Sunday, either the day that he disappeared or the day before he disappeared, they did a lot of activities. They were all over the place. Shopping, bowling, visiting with family, picking up the niece, going to the Texas Roadhouse for dinner. Was that a routine Sunday to go to all those different places? Or did that get Sebastian a little worked up? Was he overstimulated that day? And could that have led to an altercation later that night at the Proudfoot home?
That, decompression time. And, we have the night lights and the little fidgets for the self-stimming and everything, because that's, you can't make them just do nothing. But,
right.
It's turning off all the screens and okay, we're
probably screaming at them and telling them to go sleep in the garage, allegedly. Don't piss the bed, allegedly. Put your diaper on, allegedly.
going to be quiet. You know, I understand you're not necessarily going to sleep, but you're going to lay in the bed and relax, you know.
I saw a couple of people asking about what temperatures that he likes. Is he a cool person? Is he a warm person?
And he also really loves going outside and building and having snow fights. You know, when we had that rain, or not rain, but the frozen snow, when it was too cold to even make a snowman.
Oh, around Thanksgiving time.
We were still outside throwing, you know,
snowballs.
He was trying his best to make snowballs, but it wound up just being throwing handfuls of fluff across the yard.
Again, the laughter, it just doesn't fit with the situation. Your kid's missing, it's 3 months. Where is he? Is he dead? The people asking the questions are not asking questions that are going to benefit the case, that are going to benefit Sebastian if he's out there lost somewhere. They're shooting the shit about silly stuff.
For the most part, though, he likes being inside.
So do you think a kid who prefers being inside is going to go outside late at night or in the early morning hours when it's cold out, when it's dark, and he's barefoot? The only way a kid like that is going to go outside at that hour without his shoes is if he's terrified and he's running away.
He's the kind of kid that would rather play video games and be inside hanging out than outside playing football, but he does like going out, and he likes playgrounds, and he loves like the trampoline places and running. And
hey,
and yes, he does like to read Minecraft books.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
So we go to Barnes and Noble every so often, and he picks out books. And the only ones that he has genuinely showed interest in and even read more than once, they have Minecraft novels. And
So Sebastian likes to read, he can read, he likes Minecraft novels. Do you think this is somebody who would run away without his cell phone?
Pages, and I bought him all the ones that we could find, and he loves them.
So they're chapter Minecraft books.
Actual storybooks.
Ooh, all right. I got a little guy in my world that likes those, so
I didn't even know they made those.
I had no idea.
I think one of them is called Voyage or Voyager. I'm not sure. I'd have to go look. But
I just wrote it down, so I'll find it. Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome. He likes Barnes & Noble because there's Starbucks in there, too.
Double whammy. Get the books in the Starbucks.
Stupid cake pops.
Oh, those are my daughter's favorite.
Every single time we're near a Starbucks, Mom, can we get a cake pop?
Fails.
The kids love them to death. Like, for the cost of one of those cake pops, I could buy a cake mix and make y'all a dozen cake pops.
Not the same, though, Mom.
It's not the same. It doesn't have the face.
Those Starbucks cake pops, like, I don't know what they put in them, crack, something, like, they are so good.
So we've moved from carbonated beverages now to Starbucks cake pops. What a waste of an interview.
What kind of cake pop would he choose?
All of them.
All of them.
Right. Any of them doesn't matter.
It don't matter what it is.
They're all good.
Chris is going to chime in here. Take a listen.
I would take the chocolate one, then the birthday cake one,
The cookies and cream when they have it.
and then his last one he would probably choose is either going to be vanilla or strawberry.
Strawberry. He would go for the strawberry. But normally it's like if they got one of the silly, like, I don't know what to call it. Like, they're little, you know how they always have one that's like extra a face or something fun for the kids on it?
Oh, yeah.
He would go for that one if they have it.
I can't take any more talk about Starbucks cake pops, so I skipped ahead a little bit.
It does help if people can actually hear about Sebastian and not all of the BS and drama that's been happening, but just my son.
The good memories. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know knowing his favorite color and drink isn't going to help find him, but it's part of him. It's part of who he is.
Well, but Katie, it might, though. Think about this. Sometimes sometimes the same routine things. So if he's out there, you don't know that he might not be drinking or eating something like that.
At this point, Dolly interjected, yeah, he's got a whole lot of money on him right now, so you might find him in Starbucks having a cake pop. He also said, don't you know that places like that and stores require shirt and shoes? Very good point. Very good point.
The grocery store person that sees him getting a dragon fruit.
Mm-hmm. Or a Starbucks.
Yep, absolutely. And that's why that's part of the reason people were asking, and it helped you out. Rowena was asking if he's allergic to anything, food, environmental factors, patients, anything like that, if you're comfortable.
He has allergies, kick his butt, because he's allergic to grass.
I don't know, her tone sounds sort of mocking there. He's allergic to grass. Would he go out then, barefoot, running through the grass late at night when it's cold?
So whenever the grass is pollinating, his allergies get really bad for him. As far as any, like, serious allergies like peanuts or anything like that, no, we haven't found any food allergies, just being picky about some stuff. But no, he's outside of grass pollen,
right?
We really don't know any other allergies.
To me, she sounds like she has allergies right now. I'm hearing some sniffling. Guys, I'm going to do this in 2 parts because, frankly, I am having trouble listening to this whole thing right now. It's just a whole lot of nothing burger. Let me know if you want me to do the rest of the conversation. Give me a little comment there, and I'll do it if you want it. And I'll see you guys next time on Bed Crime Stories. Now smash that like button and have a wonderful Friday and weekend. Hope you have Monday off. It's Memorial Day. Time to grill some stuff outside, weather permitting. And by the way, I'm still working on the Karen Reed Part 2, where I'm going to talk about her defense team and their theory. If you haven't seen Part 1 of that, please do. I worked really hard on it. That's another way you can help me for free. See ya.